What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's everything you want.
Nothing you need.
Nothing you need at all. It's Hunter and Thomas. Back with another banger of an episode.
You could hope.
We hope.
I might get banged.
Oh.
Not the good way, either.
Does that mean shot? Does that mean...
I don't know.
I don't know. You're the one that used the verb. And then
I just got assaulted by pens here in the studio.
Interesting. Flying pens.
Yeah. All because...
Never mind. Thomas is going to refrain from speaking so he doesn't get assaulted. We're coming at you live from Universal Studios in Orlando. Not really, but that is where we'll be by the time you listen to this.
Indeed.
And I'm going to go on lots of rides.
I'm going to go on some of the rides.
Thomas is going to go on 4 of the rides.
No, I'm going on some of the rides.
You don't go on any of the good ones.
Spider-Man.
That is a good one.
Gringotts.
That's also good.
Jurassic Park.
That's not great. It's not great. Now, if you said Velocicoaster, that's a good one. That's a great one.
See, I'm not big on roller coasters, though. That's the thing.
Gotta go fast. Don't you want to know what Sonic feels like when he's running?
No, I'm good.
You can sit in a chair and feel that.
No, I'm good.
I think you should do it.
No, I'm good.
Why is there not a Sonic the Hedgehog roller coaster? Like it's got the loops and everything. That would be perfect.
Who did Universal do the Sonic movie though?
I think so. I don't know who did the Sonic movie.
I know they did Scott Pilgrim. There could be
which is a good movie, by the way. You should go see the Sonic movie if you haven't.
There could be like a really cool Scott Pilgrim ride.
I don't know who did the Sonic movie.
I think it was Universal.
I
could be wrong.
Look at
I know also Sega helped out. Sega Studios.
Sega makes movies sometimes.
But no, I don't know. I don't know who did it.
No. Well, Sega, if you're listening, make a Sonic the Hedgehog roller coaster. That's free money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not free. It's millions of dollars to build. But so when Nickelodeon decides they want to partner up and with Sega, we could get a Teenage Mutant. There is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ride. You can go to the mall. What's the? It's the
Nickelodeon
Universe
Mall of Dreams or whatever. It's the big mall in New Jersey.
New Jersey, huh? Is there anything going on in New Jersey? Is there a reason to visit New Jersey?
It takes you to New York.
So it's just a pass through.
Yeah.
You just got to go through it.
You got the Jersey Shore.
There's some interesting pizza in Jersey.
There's some interesting pizza
in Jersey, but it's probably thin crust, so I'm probably not going to like it.
Do you not like pizza from New York?
I prefer deep dish.
Oh.
I like me a nice thick slice of pizza. I ain't trying to do this cracker with cheese and sauce on it.
Yeah, buddy. There's the door.
Okay.
You can go walk out that door.
That should have been part of last week.
Uno reverse card. You can go out that door.
All right. Peace. I'm out.
Man, if I'd have realized it was that easy this whole time, I'd have done that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why I needed it 10 years ago, but, it's okay. And he's gone. All right. So now he's gone. This week's episode is all about roasting Thomas and how much we can roast Thomas and make fun of him. So drop a comment with your best Thomas insult, and we'll read some of the favorite ones out loud next week. I think that's what we should do. I think that's the best way to do this. Anyway, at Universal tomorrow, I'm going to ride all the rides and have a good time. Thomas, on the other hand, he's going to ride one ride, possibly get motion sickness, lay down on the floor outside of the Hulk.
Are you talking shit about me, motherfucker?
Oh, look, he's back. He came back. He broke through the wall. He's now storming in a Stone Cold style.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh. Yeah, what's good? You talking shit about me?
It's a lot less intimidating than you thought it would be.
What's good, motherfucker? I'm coming for you, asshole.
That's equally disturbing.
Oh, okay. Anyways, how's your week been?
Not bad. It was a typical week. I didn't do much. Nothing really happened. It was a 5-day work week. I had a 4-day work week last week, which was nice. Worked 5 days this week and 4 days next week. So
I only got to work 2 days next week.
Well, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants, with your paid time off.
Yep.
I actually no. I guess yeah. No, I did. I spent the entire week, and I continue to spend time debating a job offer.
And where would this job offer be?
Boca Raton, which I'm told means rat mouth.
And what?
I don't know. Someone was like, that means rat mouth, but they didn't explain where.
Would like Miami be the rat?
I don't know.
Makes sense because it's like right outside Miami.
Maybe.
I think.
It's like 45 minutes north. Miami.
Okay.
It's closer to Fort Lauderdale than it is. You don't know where that is.
I don't.
I just saw your eyes just glaze over. Yeah, sure, Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like I've been there before. Yeah, sure.
It's so funny how we like East Coast Florida and West Coast Florida are two very different Floridas.
Yeah.
And I know nothing of East Coast Florida.
I know they got a Buc-ee's over there in Daytona.
You tried to convince me.
Yeah, we gotta go to a Buc-ee's.
To drive almost 2 hours one way, not for an event, not for a group of people to meet up with or hang out. No, nothing going on. You were just like, we gotta go to Buc-ee's.
To one of the greatest gas stations in the world.
I am not driving 2 hours one way for a gas station.
Now, hear me out.
Uh-huh.
What if
Yep. Yep.
we just go?
It's a compelling argument.
Group chat. Not group. Sorry. Group. Group go.
I think he's trying to communicate with me.
Group go fast
Uh-huh.
to Buc-ee.
Oh, now it's just one Buc-ee. It's not even Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
It's been demoted to a single Buc-ee.
What I'm saying is, why don't we just get a group of us together and we just go?
But what you really think you can convince more than one person to go on a 2-hour journey to a gas station?
Let me ask the person to my right. Babe, would you like to go to Buc-ee's?
I've done a lot more driving for way less.
That is one person. All
Okay.
right. I said more than one.
Okay, I'm sure Miles would be down. There's alcohol there.
Miles is not. I mean, he's not driving, so he may not
Yeah,
care.
plus, we can see shit while we're over there.
Like what?
I don't know. What's over in Daytona? A beach?
A beach.
Yeah.
That's where they wrote that song about over at Sega.
Daytona!
Yeah, they wrote that
We
song.
can also see the big raceway.
Hmm.
The Daytona Speedway or whatever.
Do you care about NASCAR in any shape or form?
A little bit. I actually cared about it.
Do
when
you
I was
really?
young. Yeah, when I was a kid, I'm like,
Oh.
oh my god, they're making left turns.
I've never once sat through any sort of a...
It's actually pretty cool because, you like F-Zero, right?
Yeah, that's the funny thing is, when I think about it, I do like racing type things, but...
Because it's really fast and it's intense, and all it takes is a split second, and someone's car could be flipped over, someone could be fucked up, someone could be dead.
But it's not F-Zero.
No, but they're going pretty fucking
It's
fast.
not
They're going over 100.
anti-gravity, loop-de-loop cars.
No, not yet.
No bounty hunters racing for
Not yet, but,
glory.
We let Elon Musk keep going.
Tesla Model Plaid is stupid fast for no reason. It does 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just get on Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney. That's how fast the Tesla can go.
Yo, that ride is smooth. I like
ride's very
that.
smooth.
I'm not big on roller coasters, but that I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Speaking of that ride, I read an article earlier today where apparently the fate of that ride is now in Universal's hands.
What?
Because Universal owns the Aerosmith portion of that ride.
Oh, like the Universal Records?
Yeah, Universal Music
Oh.
is actually what Aerosmith is under.
Well, I'm sure
So
Disney will be willing to pay whatever money.
They're
they
either
need to.
going to have to renew the contract or, yeah, I don't know. But that contract apparently goes up next year.
Yeah,
so.
Disney's willing to pay whatever money they need to.
It wouldn't be that hard to redo that.
No, I don't think it'd be difficult to re-image it.
Do you want to speak in the mic? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. It's kind of funny. I cared way more about Aerosmith after that ride than before.
Really?
Yeah, because
I've always loved Aerosmith.
I never disliked him, but I was just kind of like Aerosmith. Yeah, that's That's a band. Yeah, they got a few good songs, I guess. And then I did The Ride a couple times, and then I just went and bought like their best of album with like 30 songs on it. I was like, I love Aerosmith. Aerosmith's great. I love Aerosmith. So
until your dreams come true.
you like almost popped a vessel there trying to hit that note.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably did too. That's why he doesn't sing like that.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's so funny if you listen to early Aerosmith, even just it doesn't take very long, but like just their first couple of hits, Steven Tyler sounds completely different.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Did you know that Tommy Tallarico is his cousin?
Yeah, he points that out like at every video games live.
Does he really?
Oh yeah.
Did he point that out at the one we went to?
Yes.
That may have been how I learned.
Because he'll also have like the person play like Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and then they come on stage and play like the one song alongside. Like they're playing they're playing a song on the screen while the band is also performing the music.
Because I know he posts on social media about it. Like he'll be like, "Happy birthday, cousin!" But
yeah. Just like an old teacher of mine and hers. I'm sure you probably also had her too, Mrs. Hall.
Yeah.
Her cousin was Carmen Electra.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Small world. I never met her.
Did you know that? Yeah.
The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's always funny, like what's the one thing called? The 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon? You think that's true?
Oh.
Like, have they proved that? Like, or is that just like a popular internet meme myth?
Yes, to both. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to try it for myself.
Okay.
Find someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone
who knows Kevin Bacon.
Who knows Kevin Bacon?
Well, you start from Kevin Bacon and then you work your way backwards.
Ah, okay. I've seen shows like that where they'll start with someone random and be like, let's see if we can find someone who knows a celebrity, and then like they'll go like sometimes it was a Japanese program I watched, and like it took the guy like 3 people. He was like, do you know this person? Okay, do you know this person? Do you know? And he was like, oh, I know someone who may know this person, and it literally only takes like a couple people. It's always kind of funny. But
any games you've been playing this week?
Dragon Quest 11.
Okay.
I'm at the 70-hour mark. I'm near the end of Act 2. So the game's in 3 acts. Act 2 is like the end of the main, quote-unquote, main game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much post-game content that is effectively the size of the game itself. So even though I'm done with the quote-unquote main story almost, there's still 50-plus hours of content to do.
Yeah, you still have to actually do the post-game story, which is how you get the true ending.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's I'm getting close to the end of Act 2, and I can't put it down. It's great.
Oh, that's good.
What'd you play?
I'm still playing Cyberpunk. I am on the final mission of the main story right now.
Cyberpunk.
Yes, Cyberpunk.
You know that game is busted, right?
It's still really good. It's fun. I mean, I have not had any like game-breaking glitches.
It's so funny because like I'll talk to Miles and I'm like, I can't believe he's playing Cyberpunk, and he's like, you sound personally offended, and I'm like, I am, because he's playing Cyberpunk.
It's fun though. Like it's like if you like Fallout or anything like that.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't like any Bethesda games.
okay. Well, if you like RPGs,
I do enjoy an RPG.
then give Cyberpunk a try.
I'm gonna wait for the next gen. That's the thing is like you're playing on the Xbox Series S, and the next gen version's not even out yet.
Yeah, no, I know, but it still runs pretty decent.
I feel like you're cheating yourself out of the better experience to come.
Yeah, but like there's still multiple like paths to take, multiple endings. Like my next playthrough is I'm gonna be playing as a female version of V, and I'm gonna see if I can try to romance Keanu. I doubt it.
I doubt it
because spoilers: Keanu Reeves is inside your head, so like you are Keanu Reeves. Well, actually, as the story goes, so this is spoilers for Cyberpunk, by the way. I know you don't care, but anybody listening might care.
I already looked them up.
So basically, there's a part where you steal this chip, and you insert it into yourself because the case it was in was busted, and the temperature starts going down, and if it goes down too much, the chip will be damaged. So you insert it into yourself. You get shot in the head. You're left for dead, but it turns out the chip has what is essentially the soul of Keanu Reeves' character Johnny Silverhand on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the chip essentially brought you back from the dead. And what's happening is Keanu Reeves' soul is overriding your soul. He's not doing it on purpose. It's just the chip is doing that. So like anytime you see him walking around talking to you, that's all in your head.
Yeah.
And as it goes on, eventually it's like his voice is coming out of you, or he takes over you. So there's just random points where like you'll start like coughing up blood and everything and just pass out because he is taking over your body. Like basically you're just dying, and like you will eventually lose control of your body and become Keanu Reeves. And so at the point I'm at is like the final mission of like, all right, we're going to go to this place. We're going to go try to do this so we can get him out. And he's all on board. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be here because, you know, this ain't my body. You know, I'm fine with that. I'm willing to die again for this.
I do think once the full next-gen version is out and they do some big updates to it, I think eventually I'll try it out. But,
oh, yeah, no, because I'm sure the next-gen version will probably be 60 FPS.
But currently I'm holding off.
But what I suspect is to happen, because they said they're going to have a big DLC this year and the next-gen update. I think those are just going to be 2 in 1. It's like, all right, here's this big DLC, probably more stuff to play in the game, plus the next-gen version, which is a free upgrade for anyone that has the current gen.
I just know at this point, whatever game they do next, people are going to be so weary, and because Cyberpunk was like one of the biggest hyped games of all time, probably. The marketing just built and built and built, and the expectations built and built for years. Right. And when it came out, it crashed and burned so hard.
The same thing as this happened with Witcher 3.
Yeah, I know.
Witcher 3 was a busted-ass mess.
But I think going 2 for 2 like that, though, I do think whatever their next game is, whenever that is, I think people are going to be pretty weary of it.
Right.
To until it comes out, if they prove it's good, hey, good on them. But I do think when it's initially announced, people are just going to be like, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I don't think there'll be a lot of hype around it.
Yep. Unless it's Witcher 4. They'll just be like, oh, shit,
okay,
Witcher.
All is forgiven. I do see also you've been playing Psychonauts 2, looks like.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2 is really fun. I've been enjoying that.
Hey, did you play the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I played it back in the day.
Oh, back in the... Okay, so you haven't replayed the first one and then done second?
I tried to replay it, but I tried to replay it back on my 360. Didn't really hold up that well. I'm sure if I try to replay it now on the Xbox Series S, it might run a little bit better.
A little clunky.
That loading wasn't that great. Because, the 360 emulator, like, to play, like, the old Xbox original games was not the best. So, like, playing, like, Knights of the Old Republic on your 360 wasn't that great.
Oh, okay. I bought a bunch of the Star Wars games on Steam. This was, like, 5 or 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, man, I'm so excited. Because I haven't played too many of, like, the Xbox-era Star Wars titles. Like, all the Knights of the Old Republic. Like,
yeah, like, both of those.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Republic Commando.
Yeah, I didn't...
That's a good one.
I didn't play any of those. So I bought them all on Steam, and I was like, all right, sweet, let's go. And then I found out, at least at the time, when I originally bought them, it had no controller support. It was mouse and keyboard only. And
oh, yeah.
And I was like, nope. And I immediately refunded all of them.
If you're going to do control on, like, Steam version or something like that, you're going to have to mod the game.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I want to see? I want to try. I doubt it. You might be able to play it because I doubt it's available digitally, but like Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Return of the King on the original Xbox, those games were awesome. But I doubt they're available digitally, but you have the Series X, so you can play it physically.
Do you have them?
I do not know.
Oh.
But they're not expensive.
eBay.
Or Lord of the Rings Middle Age. Or it's either the Middle Age or the Third Age. I think it's the Third Age.
There's one that I played back in the day, back in like 5th grade.
But it's like Final Fantasy X. Like the combat is just Final Fantasy X.
There was one. It's like a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
I played that one with a friend.
That one was also really good.
We got a good portion of it through, but then we hit a wall. We hit like a boss or something that we couldn't get past, and we never finished it. But shout out to Lester. I know you're not listening, but I'm gonna send this to you, and now you have to listen to it.
Lester.
His name is Lester Couch.
Okay, no.
What a name.
I don't know.
What a name. No, he went to Brandon, but he's my age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So since we're on the topic of old games, I guess this could bring us into our actual topic.
Segue
of old games, retro.
I love old video games.
I do too.
Unfortunately, if you walk into a GameStop now, they'll tell you that the PS2 is retro.
Yeah, PS3 is about to become retro.
My heart, my soul. Good Lord,
I would
feel
say PS2 was retro when the PS4 came out. which would mean PS3 is now retro.
And it's difficult because, like, what is the actual dictionary definition of
For a retro game?
retro? Like, is there a time span for it?
I don't know.
Is it just when everyone, the general public, just deems it as old and outdated? Because I feel like it's kind of disambiguous and up to opinion of.
Yeah, I don't really know. How long until a game is considered retro? For my short answer, a game or a system must be at least 15 years old to use the term retro. So PS2 is definitely retro. The PS3, that came out in 2007.
So about 3 years from now.
So it's retro.
It'd be at the 15-year mark.
It's already there, just about. I know the 360 is.
Yeah,
that came out in 2005.
2005. So that would be 15 years.
And if the PS3 came out in 2006.
Yeah, that would be 15 years. Wow.
So that shit's retro.
The PS3 era was kind of funny. I missed most of that era because I had a 360, and then never had a PS. I had little interest in the PS3, mostly just from when it initially launched. It was super expensive.
Yeah.
At the time, a Blu-ray player, like, I had no interest in it, even though there were some great games on it. I was just like, I'll. Xbox.
Where you're like,
Xbox.
HD DVD, that's the future.
That's the future. HD DVD with add-on. You had to buy like $100 external disc add-on for the HD, I believe, for the 360.
Did you? I could have sworn the 360 was capable of playing HD DVDs.
It could play DVDs. I think the HD DVD, there was a separate player you had to buy for it.
Oh, because that was their big push. It was Xbox was HD DVD, and then PS3 was Blu-ray.
Yeah,
and then the porno industry chose Blu-ray, and that's honestly what that's what happened. Porno is like Blu-ray, and thus Hollywood followed porn. Like, a lot of people don't realize porn leads in a lot of shit. Like, if porn starts going to something, rest of Hollywood tends to follow.
The more you know.
Because porno sells a lot.
But yeah, I did not get a PS3. It was kind of funny. My dad got me a PS3 as a graduation gift.
Oh, nice.
Keep in mind, I graduated in 2012.
Oh, the PS4 is already out.
PS4 came out the following year, 2013.
Oh, okay.
So I had about a year with the PS3. And at that point, it was just like, okay, I got the Uncharted collection. It actually came with Uncharted 3.
Nice.
Which was funny because I just made that my first one. I played Uncharted 3 before playing 1 and 2.
Hey, 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, they're all good. So, I mean, it was fine. And then I got the collection and went back for that. I'm trying to think of what other PS3 titles I picked up.
Did you play Metal Gear Solid 4?
I did play Metal Gear Solid 4. My PS3 library was the Ratchet and Clank Future games.
Nice.
And the Ratchet and Clank collection. That was actually I growing up in a super my parents were separated, but one side I had the bubble that was very religious and slightly overprotective, whereas the other bubble was just very anti-violent, completely anti-violent. And so because of that, I was stuck in the Mario Nintendo bubble growing up. I couldn't, even if it was cartoon violence, it was still violent. So I growing up, I didn't play Ratchet and Clank. I didn't play the Jack games growing up. I'm trying to think if there were some other big series back in late 90s, early 2000s that I might have missed out on.
Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Spyro.
No, oddly enough, he was fine with Spyro. Well, he didn't like crude. He didn't like crude humor. So, I didn't play any of those back in the day. So I've had to kind of go back now and pick up HD collections or ports or whatever. And
Metal Gear.
Yeah,
Castlevania.
Because I very much existed. Like, I had my Nintendo 64 and I had my GameCube. I did have a PS2, but again, couldn't play anything that was considered quote unquote violent. So
Kingdom Hearts.
It was all. I'm trying to think of the PS2 games I used to play back in the day.
Kingdom Hearts.
I actually didn't play Kingdom Hearts when it first came out.
Oh.
First time I played Kingdom Hearts 1 all the way through was in high school. It was like 2011, I think, because I had some friends in high school who were talking about it. I was like, I'll try this out. And then I got hooked on the series and blew through the whole series at that point. But like PS2, I'm gonna have to go through my collection and see because I hardly remember at this point.
Okay.
I had like Crash 4 Well, not the good Crash 4 that we have now. It was Wrath of Cortex. back then.
yeah.
Yeah, I had that. I had Sonic Riders, which
Okay.
was actually very good. That was actually a very good game. I'm trying to think of what else I had back in the PS2 games, because I really didn't play the PS2 much. It was really GameCube focused and N64 back, at least when I was a kid.
Mm.
High school is when I was kind of like, let me finally start playing all these things I missed.
Let me tell you about when I first got my PS3.
Uh-huh.
It was 2008.
Uh-huh.
We went up to Maine to go scatter my grandparents' ashes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also around the time of my birthday. So we're up there. It's early June. Metal Gear Solid 4 comes out. I want to say it came out June 8th, June 9th, around there.
Mm.
So we're up there. I get a PS3 as birthday gift. And we're at GameStop, and I get to pick a couple games. So what I get is Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty 4, I'm trying to remember what else I got. I remember those two because I played them there, like at this beach house we stayed at,
Mm-hmm.
and it just fucking blew my mind, like how good this shit looked, and how like Call of Duty 4 especially, like how fun that was. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome.
The 360 era, the 360 games really. I got 360. I was late to that entire generation. The 360 I got a little earlier. I think I got in like 2007, 2008. And that was pretty much the Halo and Assassin's Creed machine for me. So I had all the Halo titles. I had all, at the time, up through Assassin's Creed 3.
Right.
And that includes 2, Brotherhood, Revelation 3. Grand Theft Auto 4.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft
Auto 5 again on the PS4.
I'm really mad because I had Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360.
I did too.
And I've never bought it again because I was always like, it's kind of funny looking back now. When did that game come out? 2012? 2013?
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, I always refused to buy the quote-unquote next-gen version because I was like, whenever I buy this, that's when they're going to make the next one. And it's now been...
Yeah, September 17th, 2013.
Yeah, so it's been 8 years.
And we're about to get the next-gen version this November.
Right, so it's been 8 years and they still haven't even shown us a title screen yet for GTA 6. So, but it's on Game Pass now, so...
No, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore?
It got taken off Game Pass.
It's
on sale right now.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, no, you can't.
So again, I will continue to not play GTA 5.
I mean, I'll get it when the next gen version comes out to see exactly, because the next gen version went for last gen.
Mm-hmm.
It still runs really well. It looks great. There's a lot of smart AI in that game, like how you interact with the world. Really interesting. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about retro games.
Let's go back. Let's go to the 90s.
Let's go back to the past.
Let's go back to an era when Pizza Hut was king.
Samurai Jack.
There was this new cartoon on the horizon called SpongeBob SquarePants. I remember when that launched. I remember like seeing the first episode.
Toonami was
premiere.
coming on every weekday at 4.
Had to
4:30 p.m.
rush home after school so I could see G Gundam.
Watch Dragon Ball Z.
Because it started at like
Tenchi Muya, Tenchi Universe,
2:30.
Gundam Wing, and then you get on your parents' computer and then you play the Gundam Wing Cartoon Network game.
Cartoon Network had some really good
Computer
Flash
games?
games back in the day.
There was like this like tactical Gundam Wing game that was on there. I don't remember what it was called,
That sounds vaguely familiar.
but I remember playing the shit out of it.
All right, so anyway, not cartoons though. So let's talk retro games. So the earliest memory I have for gaming was Mario 64.
Wow, okay.
That was the earliest memory I have was Mario 64
He was a baby.
and Mario Kart 64.
He was a baby.
Yeah, I remember being like 3 and 4
Oh.
playing those games. And then from there it got into like Banjo-Kazooie, the Mario Party games, which it's kind of funny. Growing up playing Mario Party by yourself, as sad as that sounds,
I did that.
I did too. But did you know that in the early Mario Party games, you can change at any point who you control?
I think so.
So at any point in the earlier...
That way you can always be winning.
Right, exactly. So that's what I would always do, was I would always control my character, and then right before an AI would go by a star, I'd switch control to them. They'd walk over the star. I'd go, nope, don't want to buy it. And then I would just change back to me. And that was how I won all the Mario Party games back in the day.
Yeah. Did you like rent video games?
Not
from
a
Blockbuster or Hollywood
Not a whole
Video?
lot. I rented a couple.
Because I have an early memory. I want to say one of the earliest memories I have of renting games is Pokemon Heart. I was about to say Heart Gold. No, Pokemon Gold.
Okay.
From a Hollywood Video, because I have the early memory of like from Christmas getting Pokemon Blue, getting a Game Boy Color and getting Pokemon Blue, and just lying on the couch, stomach down, just like on your front side and just playing that like all day, playing fucking Pokemon Blue. Like, this is the greatest game ever.
I'm surprised renting games they haven't brought that back on the digital front somehow.
I mean, that's kind of Game Pass and PlayStation Now.
It is, but that implies like as long as the game is up on the service, you can always access it. I'm saying maybe, I don't know, rent the game for a couple hours by spending $2 or $3. So let's say you don't have Game Pass or you don't have PlayStation Now or whatever, and you really want to try out this game, throw $2 or $3 at the screen. And then you have like a 2-hour timer or something to actually.
I would say maybe like a 2-day timer.
Or something, something of that nature.
48 hours.
Yeah.
That also sounds scummy as fuck.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's what the model was back in the day.
Yeah, but
that's
at least
exactly it was.
But the thing is, it was a physical thing you had.
But you still didn't own it. You still had to give it back.
Not necessarily. You can keep it if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's the scummy part. That's scummy.
You lost it, or you'd be like, here, I'll just buy it.
We need to take a road trip to the last Blockbuster.
Didn't that close down already?
Did it?
I heard it did.
I heard at one point they converted it to like an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still like Blockbuster themed heavily, and so I don't know. We'll have to look it up after this. I thought it was still actually. I'll look it up right now. I thought it was still around.
No, but like, what would you say some of your favorite retro games would be? Like anything? Do you have a retro game that you've played that like maybe no one's ever heard of? Like, is there a retro game that you've played or you want to play that no one's heard of? I'm sure there's some Japanese obscure games you're like, ooh, that game.
I do. There is one Japanese retro game that was made by Game Freak. Oddly enough, it's on the Sega Mega Drive. This is before Nintendo acquired them to start doing Pokemon, called Pulseman, which is kind of...
Wait, is that the game where the dude's like bubbles or like dots or something?
Yeah, he like turns into like a little energy ball and he bounces around.
Yeah.
It's an extremely rare Japanese-only title nowadays, and it's like a $400 game now. And I loved his... It's kind of like Mega Man meets like Sparkster, if you remember that game,
right?
Rocket Knight. It's kind of like a merging of those two, and it's just a very cool concept and idea that I've never gotten to play, but I always really thought it looked really cool.
Awesome.
Let me see real quick here. So it looks like the final Blockbuster is still
open.
Okay,
that's good.
In Oregon.
Yeah.
There's
one in Alaska that was also like one of the last ones. I think that's the one that closed down. No, but I got one. I mean, I know there's quite a bit of people that have played it, but it's still very obscure to the amount of people that should play it, and it's Lufia 2.
I've never played any of the...
There's a handful. There's Lufia, or in Japan, I think it's like Estopolis or Estropolis.
That's PS1, right?
No, Super Nintendo.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
There's a PS1 JRPG that's like rare and expensive.
Suikoden?
No.
That's rare and expensive.
It came with like a coin or something in the original packaging. It's a JRPG.
It came on a coin?
No, like it came with there was like a coin or something, I think, that came with it. And I only know this because it's a collection piece now to have the whole thing.
Lunar, maybe?
Lunar.
Oh,
that's
that's
what I'm thinking of.
I played Lunar. I played the PSP because Lunar wasn't actually a PlayStation game. It was a Sega. I think it was a Sega Master System.
Master System? The predecessor of Genesis?
I think the very first one was Master System. I could be wrong, but no, Lunar's been around since the 80s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, Lunar is like one of your like old school JRPGs. Like you had Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and then
Yeah.
Lunar.
Okay. Today
And
I
then
learned.
there's only 2 games. Lunar 1 and then Lunar 2.
Lunar 2, yeah.
And
Okay.
they were remade like on the Sega CD and then again on Sega.
Do you know what I'm talking about? What it came with?
I know it came with like a music CD. I know it came with like a map.
Maybe it was
like
map.
a collectible coin.
Collectible coin. Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
No, but like the PSP remake is also really good. I played that.
Oh.
Lunar 2, I never played it physically, so I had to borrow it off my friends the internet.
Oh, okay. Tell me about Lufia. I think I've seen Lufia like on the shelf in a retro game store. I don't know anything about it.
So the very first Lufia, like if you look up the cover art for that, it's anime as fuck. Like if you want to look that up real
Are
quick.
you referring to the North American
Yes.
art?
Yes, yeah. It's like if you look at like how it
Lufia
looks on the cartridge and the
box
box,
Okay.
it's anime as fuck. I don't know how I got it. I don't know if it's my mom gave it to me
It's just
or
got that's Lufia 2.
or like the guy she was dating at the time gave it to me. But I think that was like my very first JRPG was.
You talking about the
Lufia.
Super Nintendo version or the Game Boy Color version?
No, the Super Nintendo. It's just Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. That's the name of the very first game.
It's just got like the guy with his sword.
It should be like a redheaded dude, a
Yeah,
blue-haired
with a
chick.
white cape. Oh, okay.
There's like 4 people, and they're like looking up.
I see what you're talking about.
It's anime as fuck.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. No, because the thing is, Lufia was originally meant to come out like on a different system. I want to say like the what was that computer system?
TurboGrafx,
Maybe something like that.
the Hyper PC.
I think so,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out. I could be wrong, but
Is
I'm
that
trying to
what it's
remember the history of it. And what happened is Lufia 2 was supposed to come out first because Lufia 1 and the start of Lufia 1 is the very end of Lufia 2. But ultimately, I think it works out better with Lufia 1
PC
coming out
Engine.
first.
PC Engine's what it was called. Let me see. Lufia.
Because in Japan, it's called like Astropolis or Astropolis or something like that.
Let's.
Only in North America is it called Lufia.
Lufia and the Fortress of Doom.
Yes, that's the first one. And then Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals. And there was Lufia 3 on the Game Boy Color, which I also played. And there's Lufia and the Ruins of Lore for the GBA.
So Taito began to develop a port of Lufia to the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
But there's nothing here history-wise.
Okay. Because I remember reading up about it. But what essentially it's about is there's these like 4 gods that are evil, and you have to basically gather up heroes and fight them. Like it's very generic sounding at first, but it gets very deep, and like the characters are what helps drive it, especially with Lufia 2. And the gameplay gets so much like in Lufia 1, it's very traditional old school JRPG in the sense of even when you get into a battle, if you're attacking a group of enemies, like let's say there's like 2 frogs and 1 kobold, you attack the kobold, but like you have everyone selected to attack the kobold. First person kills the kobold. Normally now these days they would go automatically to the next enemies. You'll be hitting that empty slot, so you have to like be, planning out your attack and whatnot. Lufia 2, they fixed that.
How early did you grasp the concept of like an RPG game and what to expect from RPG? If you hear a game as
when I was
RPG,
8 or 9, because I had this game when I was like 4 or 5, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I never got past the opening. So like I get to like the because like it starts off with you in the Fortress of Doom. It's badass. It's got this epic music.
Yeah.
And you're going and you're fighting enemies along the way. And I didn't understand of like restoring HP and whatnot. I'm just like attack, and then you get to them. And I'm like, oh, this is the boss of the game. All right, I'm pretty much about to beat the game.
Yeah,
I've only done that like once when I was really young, and it's like, oh, I did it, and it's like, oh, this is actually the start of the game.
Yeah, I remember when I was like, I think I was like maybe 10 or 11 even. I was, so quick side story. My dad would never know what to get me for Christmas. So eventually at some point, he was just like, here's my PayPal account. Go on eBay and just get whatever you want. So I was like, cool. So I started collecting pretty early on, and I was like, I really want a Super Nintendo. So I go on eBay and I find a Super Nintendo, and it came bundled with this game that I'd never heard of called
Earthbound?
Super Mario RPG.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I was like...
How old were you at the time?
I was like 10 or 11,
Oh,
probably.
shit.
And I was just like... what is RPG? Like, what does that mean? And then I remember Googling, it was like role-playing game. And I was like, okay. And then once I actually played the game, I was like, oh, this is what that type of game is.
Yeah.
This is like what Pokemon is. Oh, okay. That's an RPG. And that's kind of when it clicked for me. But it was kind of funny. Super Mario RPG, by the way, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Probably, depending on the day you ask me, it may be my favorite game of all time.
Is that like your earliest eBay memory?
Yes, that's my
Because
earliest.
I got an early eBay memory.
That's my earliest
for you.
eBay memory. That was a great way to start with eBay.
Like my earliest eBay memory, I want to say like I was 7 or 8,
Mhm.
and I was big into the Dragon Ball Z collectible card game. So like, there's this card that was like really cool. It was a Super Saiyan Trunks card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how much my mom paid for it. I think it was like maybe like $40 or something.
Wow.
But it was fucking badass. Like if I still had that card today, that'd probably be worth a pretty penny. Maybe.
To give you a different eBay story, I've now nor have I ever played Red Dead Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
because when I bought the first one off of eBay, I should have paid attention to where it came from.
Where'd it come from?
China.
Oh, you like a Red Dead Redemption, do you?
And I didn't really suspect anything, but when I got it, it came wrapped, and I was like, okay, cool. Everything looked legitimate about it, and then when I put it into my Xbox, all that happened was it said play DVD, and I was like, okay, and I hit play, and all that would happen was a picture of the Xbox 360 logo came up on the screen, and that was it.
Oh, you like to play the Red Dead Redemption?
And I was so mad about that. I mean, I got my money back and everything was cool, but I was so mad about it that I've never played Red Dead Redemption, and I don't know if I ever will. Childhood trauma.
Now, did you ever play Earthbound on the physical Super Nintendo?
I have the physical copy of Earthbound. It's kind of funny. That game has been expensive for a while. I remember getting it for like $90, 10, 15 years ago. And back then I was like, wow, that's a lot of money for one game. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Now you look on eBay and it's like a $200 game. What's really funny about Earthbound specifically is its value is completely artificial. It's not a rare game. It had a ton of copies made.
Right.
It's not hard to find in any capacity. It's just held in value by the people who own it and look for it.
Oh, hey, guess what? I think I might have just found the card I might have had.
Oh yeah?
That's it right there. You want to take a look?
Okay.
Guess how much it's going for on
But
eBay.
that looks like it's like a graded version that always like...
Oh, no, that's not. No, it's literally just in a... Because if it was graded, it would have a thing up top. It didn't have that.
Okay. A couple thousand?
No, I wish. No, almost $400.
Okay.
Still.
I listen. I'm going to shout out a different podcast real quick. The 8-4 Play podcast, the best podcast for Japan and games and Japanese games. 8-4 is they're actually a localization studio in Japan, and they do a lot of work with like Square Enix and a lot of the big names translating to English.
Okay.
One of the guys that was on there, he recently on Twitter, John Ricciardi, I guess he came back to the States because he had a ton of stuff stored at a home here in the States, and he was posting stuff on Twitter of just like all these games and rare posters and press material, like Nintendo PR material from like '96 that no one had seen. And he had like Zelda 1 and 2 just in box, pristine, totally clean. He had all these like rare games, and he was just like, yeah, he has a Nintendo 64 controller that I guess came from E3 one year, and it sells on eBay for like $4,000.
Oh, wow.
And he was just like, yeah, I just have this. He did. It was funny was he didn't know at the time. He just posted online. He's like, is there something special about this? I don't know. And then someone was like, dude, that's a gold mine right there. It must be nice to just sit on wealth.
Yeah, go travel back in time and just like, don't throw any of this shit away.
Oh my best friend Miles, we talk about this all the time. Where if we could go back in time, we would just tell our younger selves, protect that cardboard at all costs.
Yeah.
You keep it pristine and clean.
The cardboard, the plastic.
It is amazing how a tiny little cardboard box and a little tiny booklet with 15, 20 pages in it can just astronomically increase values in old video games.
All it is just it's ink, it's paper, it's something that's made dirt cheap.
And what's funny now, I think the bubble's going to burst soon. Because the retro gaming community and the retro collector community, it keeps growing, and the prices of everything in that area keeps going up.
Okay.
And it's reaching a point now, I think a lot of people are talking like that bubble's going to burst soon, because people are charging over $150 for a Nintendo 64.
Hey.
People are charging, like, games are just going astronomically
I'm all
high.
for, if that bubble does burst and that means there's going to be like a big price drop on shit, I'm all for that, because then that'll be the time to swoop in and pick stuff up.
On one hand, I'm all for it because I'm like, yeah, I'm all for being able to afford things from my past way more. On the other hand, I'm like, no, I'm a collector. I have a lot of this stuff and I paid a lot of money for it, and I'd rather it didn't just...
I'm all for it if it does, because then eventually it should go back up. The bubble will regrow.
Yeah.
But also get to have it. But like, hey, I can finally go get Persona 2 Eternal Punishment again. I bought that originally for $20, sold it for like $60. Now it sells for like $200.
The thing that kills collecting for me, because I used to be, up until about a year or two ago, I was very into the collector game. I was buying up everything I could. And then I learned more about a little villain in the collecting world called disc rot, which is more or less inevitable. Basically, the chemicals, and this really only impacts disc games. It doesn't so much impact cartridge, but the chemicals that are on the discs as they're produced, over time, those chemicals wear out, and the data on the disc will physically rot away. To the point where you can actually hold up a disc and see through it. And it gets to the point where the data is just completely unusable and the disc is now useless. And it's inevitable on all discs. They all have different lifespans. Some more than others. So like the GameCube and the Sega Saturn specifically, those are some of the worst.
Okay.
Like they're already seeing disc rot on some of those. PS1 is starting to. I'm seeing a couple. Or I'm sorry, yeah, PS1. PS2 I think is okay for now, but it's one of those things where as time goes on,
right,
more and more disc-based games that are just sitting on your shelf, you're not doing anything with them, they're just slowly rotting away into nothing. And it really sucks. And because of that, I'm now just kind of like, what's the point? Like,
well, you can emulate.
Yes, but I would never condone such a thing on this podcast.
But if you physically own the game, that's when it's okay.
Nintendo ninjas, don't come after me.
Because that's because Nintendo is like all anti-emulating, but then they don't do anything to.
Nintendo's very weird. I was actually talking with Miles about this the other day too. It's like, hey, don't emulate this thing that we do not make readily available to you at any. Yeah,
you want to play this old game? You want to play F-Zero? You gotta go pay someone like $200.
go buy the console on eBay. Go buy the game. Spend the $200-300 on all that, and then you can play.
Yeah, go give that person the money. The money that's not even gonna come to us anyway.
And it's so weird because they don't see any of that money anyways.
But Virtual Console they did, but there's no Virtual Console on the Switch right now. They have the shitty ass Nintendo Online.
It is insane how so many people are like, I want to give you money. Like, I want to pay for this game.
Is it just like a Japanese mentality thing of like it's
that Nintendo corporate in Japan is because they're from the 1800s. The company goes back that far. They do have a very old school Japan business mentality. I don't know if that's all of it.
Like, I know, like, with, like, fighting games, they don't want to, like, a lot of them, like Capcom and whatnot, they don't want to switch over to rollback, which has been proven as, like, a network code to be better for people that play on the internet. But in Japan, they don't have that issue. They don't have, like, terrible internet latency over there because, they're playing on the arcade machines. They have their high-speed internet, and they're just like, well, you could just get better internet.
And that's what's so weird, too, though, is it's just like, it's like at the end of the day, you're not seeing any of this money you're telling people to go spend on the original hardware. Like you no longer provide this stuff. We're having to go through third-party sellers. You don't see a penny of it. It's like,
but don't you dare emulate that fucking game. Don't you download the ROM.
Yeah.
Don't you go to this
it's very weird
site.
It's weird how they behave with that. But I don't know.
Which emulation in and of itself is not illegal. Because all it is you take the data of your video game that you physically own, and then you put it onto a computer or whatever emulation device of your choosing.
I would never do such a thing, but if I did, I would have a pretty big collection of GameCube games, just saying.
Yeah, no, I played, I'm going to be real with it because that's how I played Lufia 2, because I never physically owned it. Lufia 1, I physically owned. Lufia 2, I never physically owned it. But I borrowed it. I got to borrow it from a friend.
There you go. Mr. Internet. All right,
At that point, I didn't have the Super Nintendo, but at least I had the game there. So I'm like, hey, I'm holding the physical game. That means I can play it.
All right, so before we call it wraps, top 3 things that you're looking forward to tomorrow at Universal Studios Orlando.
Butterbeer.
That's number 1.
The Gringotts ride.
Number 2.
The Hagrid ride.
Number 3. Just, I'm going to tell a story real quick, because the reason Hagrid ride specifically is on that list. 2019 was the last time Thomas and I...
Wait, did you ever... oh, yeah, that's right. He's on lockdown.
Yeah, no, he's on
damn
lockdown.
It, he's on Darnell.
He's on COVID lockdown, which, hey, maybe he's the smarter one. That's a discussion for another day. But the reason we're Hagrid is on the list. The last time Thomas and I got to go to Universal was 2019.
Yeah.
And it was Labor Day 20. I almost always go on Labor Day. And the first time we went on Labor Day was 2017 or 2018, I forget. And it was the perfect day. We did everything we wanted to, and we literally were back in town by 5 o'clock because we had done everything. Looking back, we should have just gone on everything twice. But so okay, everything was perfect, sweet. The following year was the year from hell, where nothing went right. We went in 2019 to Universal and Islands of Adventure, and our friend Darnell, friend of the show, Darnell, shout outs to Darnell. His birthday is around Labor Day, so I kind of bring him along as a birthday gift. And if it could have gone wrong, it did go wrong.
Like the first thing he was looking for, he was spending all day trying to find fanny packs.
Well, so before that, so the Hagrid ride at the time was pretty brand new. It was like, all right, we're gonna go ride this ride. We get there at Park Open. We head straight there, and every 20-25 minutes, over the intercom, you'd hear, "Due to inclement weather, the ride has been postponed." And we would stand in line and wait and wait and wait and wait. And then finally the lights would flicker or whatever, and the ride came back on. And then 10 minutes later, we'd hear the inclement weather thing again. This went on for 3.5 hours. By noon, we hadn't done a single ride because we were still in line for Hagrid.
Yeah.
We could physically see the ride
we were almost there.
in front of us. We were almost there. And then the inclement weather alert came on again. There was not a storm above us, but it was just kind of flirting off to the side. Like it was just close enough to kind of make them go, yeah, we're not going to risk it. So then it was noon. At that point, Darnell was like, well, so the first time we went, Darnell was, we'd gone to the Simpsons area for lunch. Thomas had gotten a rib sandwich.
Yeah, the rib witch.
And Darnell took a bite of it, and he was like, yo, that's amazing. He's like, I got to get that next time.
Yep.
So after Hagrid was a bust, he's like, at least I still got the rib witch. We go get lunch. He takes a bite. He goes, they changed it. It's not as good now. And I was like, well, at least I still got butterbeer. We go get butterbeer. $7.99 for that little cup. He takes a sip. It's watered down. And sure enough, I had one too. It was watered down. Then he's like, well, at least I got the chocolate frogs. He goes to find the chocolate frogs. they raised the price. And then there was something else too. Oh yeah, and he was trying to find a fanny pack all day, and
never find
they don't
one.
sell them anywhere, and he couldn't find one. It was just
We watched
everything.
a video just the other day. It turns out they got fanny packs.
Yeah, they
now.
do. Yeah, they got some now in the stores. But like, it was like, if anything, like he everything he was looking forward to just shot down. Disappointment. I felt so bad. I almost went to Universal in February of 2020 with a couple friends from college, and it turns out they couldn't quite go. I was like, we'll just wait a few weeks. What's the worst that could happen?
And then COVID.
And then a pandemic hit the world, and I haven't been to a theme park since Labor Day 2019 when nothing went right. So tomorrow, everything's going to go right, or so help me. I don't know.
That's
but
when nothing goes right.
I swear. I'm writing off theme parks forever if tomorrow sucks like the last time we went.
Can I give you, before we go, a little bit of video game trivia?
I like video game trivia.
Did you know gaming? Did you know the English word Booyah is derived from the Japanese Shibuya, meaning Persona 5 City?
And on that note, I want to thank you all for listening to Everything You Want, Nothing You Need. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. VGX7.com will take you straight to our YouTube channel where you can subscribe. Give me some of that sweet serotonin when I see that subscription alert. Make me feel good about myself for
subscribe to us on any
10
podcast.
minutes. You can go to any podcast app, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Music. It's all there. Leave us a review there as well. You can also go to patreon.com/VGX7. You can find us there. Give us money. Support shows like Ultimate Gaming, which just had a new episode released earlier this week, and the podcast, of course, as well. I got to go to bed because I got to be up in less than 12 hours to drive out to Orlando and hate my life for 10 hours.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Have a beautiful time. Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs.
Bye-bye.